Okay, so this is feedback for SOAR, SOAR, for Unit 1. I'm going to start with some general concepts for you to think about as you're looking back over your videos, and then go sentence by sentence with some specific examples. Now, what I do may be slightly different than what TrueWay does. Hopefully, this gives you a little bit clearer explanation of either their approach or my approach. Hopefully I can provide some simpler ways of thinking about things as you move forward. So the first, as you approach any kind of translation, I want you to think of really four different things that I want you to approach it with before you even start recording. The first is I want you to look at what is the vocab you're going to need. Go through and try to figure out all the signs you're going to need. So it's not every word, but also figure out the words you're not going to need. Chances are you don't need to or from. You don't need in, like I live in Kent. You don't need the in. I live Kent, right? So ultimately, this is the sign for in. So maybe think about it that way, as if you see in or to, that you're going to want to point to something. Also look at, is there a way that listing will make things clear? I'm talking about two people. Do I point to two people? If I'm talking about three people, is it going to, or three things, is it worth having a list on my hand? So I want you to look at it that way. And then once you've figured all this out and you're practicing it, try it that way. See if it's easy to break it up into smaller sentences. Okay. The next thing is to decide what each sentence is. Some of the entries will have more than one sentence, but is it a question? So if it's a question, is it a yes/no question or a WH question? And remember, some of those can be tricky, especially if have is in there. Is like, find out what's the answer, the simplest answer. Is the answer a yes or a no? Or is the answer some information? So pay attention to that and take notes for that. Just know that if it's, remember, yes, no, eyebrows go up, WH, eyebrows go down. Okay. So you want to be able to define that. And, even if you just write like WH or YN, so you know that sentence is going to incorporate that. On the other side, if it's a statement, is it a positive statement or is it a negative statement? Right. So make note of those. I know this seems simple, but oftentimes those are the kinds of things that make you immediately lose credit for the point, because it's like, no, I needed a question, or I needed a WH question and you made it a positive statement. Okay. So, if you want to do a little checklist, then that would be good. Take a look at what is the sentence structure. Can you clearly see object, subject, verb? This I did. Here I went, that I ate, or that Bob ate, something like that. Is it simple like that? Or is it something that's more descriptive? He's nice. They're employed. If it's something like that, then topic comment may be a better choice for you. Also take a look at, are there multiple things within there? Is it, if the sentence is, I ate a sandwich and French fries, then, think about, there's two things. Oh, sandwich, French fries, I ate. Just be aware that there's like a branching off. There are two things or three things. And for example, that could be a list. I ate these two things, sandwich, French fries. And so topic comment versus object, subject, verb. If one of them is easier to analyze, to delineate, then go with that one. Try that one first. Object, subject, verb can sometimes be very confusing to just define and to analyze. Sometimes it's so much easier to just start from topic comment, and then maybe while you're signing, you go, oh, I could do it this way. And don't be afraid to change around the order. Figure out which ones seems the easiest to sign. That's was it Occam's razor? And then the last general note is, well, finger spelling. Is there any finger spelling you're going to have to do? And that's generally speaking, like proper names, brand names, people names, stuff like that. Or if there's no sign for something, or if the sign is a lexical fingerspelled sign, right? Like bank. So just mark those things. Sometimes even just like circling it and labeling it fingerspell, circling it vocab. So boom, boom, boom. Kind of like if you play a musical instrument, there are times where you have to practice a certain phrase, and you have, oh, that's triple tongue, that's I played brass, but like, so there are different techniques you use for different things. So just start to break down things like that. Don't even worry about the meaning, worry about the technical stuff. Once you get that down, then you can rearrange the order and work on meaning and phrasing. So pointing, where would be good to point to things? If you're talking about two people, they're over there. I would even say if you do like a clock face, 9 to 3, and just put a number on there. So at noon or at 1 o'clock, boom, I'm going to go there. So something like that, north, south, northeast and west, if that helps, just so you can prep it beforehand and you're not winging it in the moment. The more you've got notes down, the easier it'll be to just practice it until it's smooth. So placement, if you mention, if it says you, boom, it's straightforward. If it's them, those two, put it off to one side. If you're talking about two different people or two different things, put one to one side and one to the other. Those kind of things, point. Pointing will be really helpful, especially if you're chaining a few ideas. There's this, and then we did this. Okay, so keep those things in mind as you approach each sentence. So the first one, are you deaf? And I need to pull out my, oh, that's level 2. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. Are you deaf? Simple yes, no question, right? And we don't need the are, right? We don't use to be, we don't sign that. So you deaf. Boom, we've got our sentence. You, topic, comment, right? And then what does the face do? It's a question, a yes, no question, eyebrows go up. And if you put that little lean forward too, I know in the video, the older woman, it looks like she's just going with no facial expression change. I don't know, maybe Botox, I don't know. But start to feel what the natural feeling of that. The whole thing is eyebrows up for that, right? So some phrases may change, right? This one's pretty simple. You, new topic, deaf, question, and you can even go with the little question mark, right? So that one's pretty straightforward. Second sentence, I like her book, right? So you can do OSV. It's a simple positive statement, right? And so here's the first one. Place her off to one side. Her book, I like. Now, remember, in ASL, we don't have gender specific signs. So this is her. It's also his. It's whatever. It's there. We're just pointing toward the person. So we don't have to necessarily do her. If you wanted to be specific, you could say woman there, her book. Okay? So it's totally up to you, but I will make the recommendation is if you can add a little, it looks better. So know that her book I like. So one is like giving extra. I don't know. It's not like you're going to get extra credit, but it's definitely worth practicing, establishing who the her is. So I put a little star after her, so I know I have to point to somewhere. Her book me like, and it's a positive statement. You nod your head, right? Sentence 3, I am so stressed. So you don't need a so, you don't need an am. It's just me, stress, and emphasize stress. So here's the topic, me. What about me? You don't know what I'm going to tell you. Here, eyebrows up. Here's a new topic, me. stressed, or right? Give me good facial expressions. It probably should put an exclamation point at the end of that one, right? I'm so stressed. Um, so that facial expression exaggeration to show. Number 4, I am feeling great. Am feeling, I feel great, right? Simplify it. You don't need the am, you don't need the ing. I, and I, we've seen the sign feeling. Yeah, I feel great. Simplest way they've been doing it in true way. You go, this can just be I'm feeling great, right? Or actually, since it's a topic, I'm stressed, I'm feeling great. Both basically the same sentence. You're just switching out the emotion. Um, the next, those two, their names are Jack and Jill. So there are two. It's specific, right? So you can do those two, right? Those two name, and then here, set up one here, Jack, Jill. You could go those two, their names, their bum bum names, and then set one up to one side, Jack, Jill. So visually, we're really set. You could do that's very clear too, right? Especially on screen. Boom, boom, as opposed to two on one side. Boom. So also, I mean, since if you're recording video, think about what's going to be clear on the video. What's clear in person may be really hard with a camera, right? So these are the things also to watch for as once you're done recording and you're reviewing your video, make sure it's clear. Make sure your finger spelling is clear. If your finger spelling goes off the screen or is down here, I can't give you credit for it, right? You'll get a note of, I couldn't see your finger spelling, so it must have been wrong. You have no way of proving it was right. So make sure finger spelling is clear for the camera and that it's not at a weird angle like the True Way ASL videos, right? Do better than them. Okay, so that's Jack and Jill. His name, is his name Johnny? So that's a yes no question, right? Is it yes or no? It's not what is his name. So set up person, right? So like a topic, his name, and then that's a good place for the little question. So don't ask him. Hey, that hot guy over there, his name Johnny, right? So boom, his set off to the side. Boom. Okay, it's deceptive. It looks like it's going to be a WH question, but it's not. And it's hard. You'll sometimes see me do the wrong eyebrows. It's because I'm thinking of different layers of information, and sometimes the eyebrows would do different things. We're looking at the very simplest of sentences. So I want you to start getting used to really simple sentences, and then it will spin off into chaos. Number 7, are they hearing? So again, yes, no question. But this time we don't have a specific number of people. It's not like those two or that one person. It's that group. And I suppose you could go that group over there hearing question mark, right? Or them. You could do that, but it's not what actually the sentence is saying. It's not adding something. Well, I mean, it's adding a specific that may not be right. So I will say stick with the generic. Are they hearing? Question mark. Okay. Number 8, how do you spell your name? So this is a WH question, right? How? I'm not asking what's your name. I'm asking how do you spell it? So I don't want a name sign. I want you to fingerspell. So I'm being specific. So you need to be specific with fingerspelling. So you could do OSV pretty easily, right? So your name, spell, and notice my eyebrows are up because this is the topic, spell how, right? And I dropped it on eyebrow. So your name is the topic. Comment is spell how. Right? It's not what, it's spell how. Sometimes you'll even see people go, how? No, my name is not spelled how, it's spelled Larry. Ha ha. Um, Number 9. There are approximately 21 students in my ASL 1 class. So there's basically, what, 2 thoughts in here. One is you're talking about my ASL 1 class. And second is there are about this many students in it, right? So you're going to approach that as 2 different pieces of information. That's the easiest way. So my ASL 1 class, boom, point to them, right? Them, approximately 21 students. So if you break it up into simple things like that, my group, my class exists, and here's how many people are in it. So you can even include have 21 students. Right? So there's a couple of different options. That's the most clear way of approaching it. And again, you've got topic, comment, right? Ultimately, the ASL 1 class is the topic. I'm going to tell you about my ASL 1 class. What am I going to tell you? There are about 21 students there. Then number 10, do you want to study with us? Now, this is deceptive because there are 2 chunks in here. Do you want to study with us? There's us. Who is us? So I would say the most clear way of doing it is like our group. If you do it close to you, it means our group studied. You want to join us? Join. See, here's that person going inside to join us. Something just popped up on my screen. Okay, so I almost did it. That's the most clear way of signing it. You could say, do you want to study with us? But that's straight English and it's not clear. Us first. I mean, you could say you want to study, join us, but still you're going to have to give an us for who we are. The group is so much clearer. It's like, we're studying. Do you want to join us? And again, it's a yes, no question, right? It's not a WH, so eyebrows go up. Join. Or join us, do you want? That becomes an OSV, right? Here's an action, want. It's not OSV. But I'm hoping that you're now starting to see some of the variations, that there are clumps of information, and then the order you put them in and like how you join them is what changes the meaning. And how important the facial expressions are. If you're not putting facial expressions in, you're losing points because that's the grammar. And if you're not demonstrating the grammar, you don't get points for it. So hopefully that helps with the Unit 1 SOAR.